Hello, I'm your loyal guide from the heart of the Philippines, and today we're having the talk that your ego will hate, but your bank account will absolutely love. Let's get one thing straight immediately. You think she's different because she fetches water from a well and doesn't wear a drop of makeup? You think because she lives in a nipa hut and acts shy, she's some untouched traditional flower? Stop lying to yourself right now. That is exactly what she wants you to think. In the province, innocence isn't a personality trait. It's the most effective opening move in a high-stakes survival game. If you're looking for a simple girl, you are officially the simplest target in the entire village. You've been viewing her through the lens of a romantic movie, while she's viewing you as a strategic business plan for her family's future. Today, I am exposing the 6 calculated moves of the province playbook, the exact scripted steps used to turn a 60-year-old retiree into a 24/7 ATM before he even unpacks his suitcase. If you don't learn these patterns now, you aren't just risking your heart, you are handing over the keys to your hard-earned retirement. Pay close attention, because this truth is the only thing standing between you and a very expensive, very lonely mistake. I know exactly what you're thinking because I see it every single day at the airport and in the cafes of Cebu. You arrive with a suitcase full of hope and a head full of dreams about finding an unspoiled paradise. You've been told that in the provinces, life is simpler, and that a woman there will love you just for being a good man. It's a beautiful story, isn't it? But let me tell you something as someone who grew up in those very villages. That story was written specifically for you to buy. It's a product. The traditional girl, who seems mesmerized by your stories, isn't always seeing a hero. She's often seeing a strategic exit from a cycle of poverty that has lasted generations. The dating apps you browse are often a theater, where you're paying for a front row seat without even knowing there's a director behind the curtain. But listen to me closely. It is not your fault that you want to believe. How could you not? Back in your home country, you've been made to feel like you're past your prime. You've dealt with a cold, modern dating market that treats a lifetime of hard work and wisdom like it's an expired coupon. You're a man who has provided for others, played by the rules, and all you want is someone to look at you with genuine respect and warmth, not just a calculation of your bank balance. It's natural to seek a sanctuary when the world you built feels like it's forgotten you. I know the weight of that silence in a big, empty house. I know the exhaustion of being a success on paper, but feeling like a ghost in your own life. You aren't clueless. You are a man of value who is simply navigating a territory where the language of love is often a dialect of survival. I'm on your side now. Together, we're going to replace that fragile fantasy with a bulletproof reality. To truly grasp how this works, you need to stop thinking like a hunter and start thinking like a fish. In the West, you're used to the hunt. It's loud, it's direct, and you can see the predator coming from a mile away. But in the Philippine provinces, the game is entirely different. Imagine a fisherman standing knee-deep in the crystal-clear waters of a quiet cove. He isn't splashing or making noise. He is perfectly still, almost part of the landscape. This is the fisherman's net metaphor, and it is the foundation of everything we're going to discuss today. The net isn't made of iron or heavy chains. It's woven from the finest, most invisible silk of modesty and tradition. To you, the water looks calm, inviting, and safe. You see a girl who doesn't wear makeup, who speaks softly, and who seems unspoiled by the modern world. You think you're just swimming in a beautiful, peaceful lagoon. You don't even notice the net being laid out slowly and patiently around you. You see her shyness as a personality trait, but in reality, that's just the lead weight keeping the mesh submerged. By the time you feel the first tug of the rope against your scales, the moment that first family emergency or small help request surfaces, you're already being pulled toward the boat. You weren't hunted with a spear, you were harvested with silence. In your culture, you value the chase. In our culture, we value the catch. The fisherman doesn't hate the fish, he respects it, but he also knows it is the only thing that will feed the village for a month. If you don't learn to spot the shimmer of that silk under the surface, you'll be on the cutting board before you even realize you've left the ocean. Now, let's pull back the curtain on the actual performance. If you think the fisherman's net is just a vague concept, you're mistaken. It is a highly detailed, 6-stage script that has been perfected over decades. We call it the Province Playbook, and once you recognize the patterns, you'll see them everywhere. The first move is what I call the humble beginning audition. This is where she uses a cultural concept we call hiya, which translates to shame or extreme modesty, as a tactical weapon. When you first meet her, she will act as if she's never seen the inside of a modern restaurant. She'll insist on eating with her hands, looking down at her plate, and speaking in a whisper. She might even seem scared of the menu prices. To you, this looks like a rare, untouched innocence. You think, finally, a woman who isn't materialistic. But look closer. This is a test of your protective instinct. By acting like a fragile bird, she is inviting you to be the big, strong provider. She is setting the stage so that when she eventually asks for special support, our little code for your monthly subscription fee to her life, you'll feel like a hero for giving it, rather than a customer. If she's too shy to order a steak, but perfectly comfortable nurturing the flower in your hotel room later that night, you aren't dealing with a timid girl, you're dealing with a professional actress. Your move? Don't play the hero. Be kind, but stay observant. If she acts like a damsel, see if she still likes you when you suggest a simple walk in the park instead of a shopping trip. This leads us to the second move, which is the sudden storm, otherwise known as the carabao or roof crisis. This is a rite of passage for every foreigner. It almost always happens within the first 30 days of your connection. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the family's water buffalo gets sick, or a tropical storm conveniently blew the roof off her grandmother's hut. It's never about her needs. It's always a family maintenance emergency. This is the script's way of testing your yield. She wants to see how quickly you reach for your wallet when emotions are involved. If you send money now, you've just signed a lifetime contract as the village's unofficial insurance policy. When the storm hits, don't send cash. Offer advice. Tell her you're sorry to hear that and suggest she contact the local government for aid. Watch how quickly her sadness turns into frustration. If the love disappears when the ATM is out of order, then the love was never there to begin with. Now, before we get to the most public trap of all, I need to mention something important. If you're finding this insider information valuable, you should know that this is just the surface. I have a private inner circle, a digital sanctuary where I share the unfiltered truths I can't even say here without getting banned. It's where we talk about the real mechanics of tasting the mango and how to keep your retirement safe from the ultimate predators. There's a link waiting for you in the description. Join the list and let's make sure you're the captain of your own ship. Moving on to the third move, the barangay parade. This is one of the most misunderstood stages. She will insist on introducing you to everyone, the barangay captain, the local priest, and every single auntie in a 5-mile radius. You think, wow, she's so proud to be with me. But in the province, this is social branding. She is effectively putting a reserved sign on your forehead. She is tagging you so the rest of the village knows that this particular foreigner is her source of income. Once you've been paraded, the social pressure to provide becomes a communal debt. If you don't buy a round of drinks for the cousins or contribute to the local fiesta, she loses face. She is using the entire village to guilt trip you into being more generous. To counter this, stay low profile. If she's pushing for a public parade too early, she's not in love with you. She's in love with the status you provide. The fourth move is the selective English barrier. It's amazing how well she understands you when you're talking about gifts, dinner plans, or polishing the furniture in the bedroom. But the moment you try to set boundaries or talk about your budget, suddenly her English disappears. "I don't understand, honey. My English is bad." This is her shield. It allows her to ignore your rules while pretending it's just a cultural misunderstanding. Stop letting "lost in translation" be her excuse. Use a translation app for every serious conversation. If she still doesn't understand when it's written in Tagalog on a screen, she's not confused. She's calculating. This brings us to the comparison trap. Move number 5. She will tell you heartbreaking stories about bad foreigners she knew. Men who were stingy, mean, or broke hearts. She's painting a target on your pride. She wants you to think, "I'm not like those guys. I'll show her what a real, generous man looks like." She is literally baiting you into overspending just to prove your character. Don't fall for it. You don't owe her a correction for the mistakes of other men. Your value isn't measured by how much family maintenance you provide. Finally, we have move number 6, the future architect. This is the long game. She'll start planting seeds about a small business, usually a sari-sari store or a piggery. She'll tell you it's so she can be independent and take care of you. But here's the reality. In the province, these businesses rarely make a profit. They are just black holes for your cash. It's an exit strategy for her family, funded entirely by your retirement. Never build anything on land you don't own, and never fund a business you can't audit yourself. If she really wanted a business, she'd have a plan, not just a hand held out. Stay sharp, because the next thing I'm going to tell you is the plot twist that explains who is really pulling the strings behind her shy smile. But here's the truth that will actually keep you awake tonight. And it's a revelation that shatters the ego of even the most experienced travelers. You think you're in a one-on-one romance. You think it's just you and her sitting in that quiet province cafe, sharing a dream of a peaceful life together. But that is the ultimate Western delusion. In the Philippine province, you aren't dating a girl. You are dating a committee. Behind every shy glance, every "I miss you" text, and every family maintenance crisis, there is a silent director. Usually a mother, an auntie, or a grandmother who has watched this same movie play out 10 times with 10 different foreigners over the last 20 years. Your girl isn't the one calculating the moves. She is the soldier on the front lines, executing a strategy written by the elders for the survival of the entire bloodline. To you, love is a feeling you found in retirement. To them, love is a collective duty, and you are the most important investment project they have ever managed. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? To realize that the innocent girl you're falling for is likely feeling a genuine, agonizing conflict between the affection she's starting to have for you and the crushing weight of the expectations her family has placed on her shoulders. Her loyalty will almost always belong to the people who were there before you, and who will be there long after your bank account is empty. This isn't about her being evil. It's about the brutal reality that in a world of scarcity, survival is a much more powerful motivator than romance. You aren't the hero of a fairy tale. You are a resource. And if you don't realize who is really directing the play, you'll never know if the hand holding yours is doing it out of choice or out of command. I know I've just pulled back the curtain on a lot of harsh realities, and you might feel a bit cynical or even tired right now. It's heavy, I know. But please, take a deep breath and listen to me closely. I didn't tell you all of this to make you stay home or hide your heart. I told you this so you can finally walk into this paradise with your head held high and your eyes wide open. Knowledge isn't a burden, it's your armor. The truth is, despite all the playbooks and the committee strategies, the Philippines is still the most beautiful place on earth for a man of your caliber to find a real, soul-stirring connection. For every girl following a script, there are 1,000 genuine, traditional, and incredibly affectionate women who are literally praying to meet a man exactly like you. At 60, you aren't past your prime. You are at the absolute peak of your value. Your wisdom, your stability, and your life experience make you a king in the eyes of a woman who is looking for more than just a fleeting spark. You have so much love to give, and there is a queen here waiting to treasure it. Now that you know where the holes in the road are, you can drive with total confidence. You've done the hard work of learning the truth. Now it's time to enjoy the reward of finding someone real. You deserve this happiness, and it's closer than you think. So, I have to ask, looking back at your own travels, did you ever feel that silent committee watching you from the shadows? Or perhaps you've already encountered the Carabao crisis firsthand? Tell me your story in the comments. I want to know if you spotted the net before it closed. My mission here is simple. I want to make the world a little less lonely for good men like you by ensuring you find a connection built on truth, not a survival script. You deserve a partner, not a project. If you appreciated this talk, consider supporting my work. A small tip goes a long way here. It might buy me a bucket of Jollibee chicken or a cold San Miguel beer to enjoy while I research your next guide. Be the captain, not the catch. Salamat and good luck out there.